Good afternoon, everyone. Jamie Kingwood here, Allison Gargaro joining us shortly. Got a lot of data to get through here, a lot of info. Winds at 80 now on Ian. You can see some big-time intensification to a Category 3, then a Category 4. Forecast track cone here for you shows that area of concern now, this red line. So all locations within this broad cone, much uncertainty longer term. Again, of course, we've got mandatory evacuations now around the Tampa metro, and for good reason as this continues moving that way. It is going to be a very close call. Latest forecast modeling showing that tilt there toward the east. Yesterday, if you remember, we had a big tilt into that direction. After Saturday, it was more of a westerly jog. So things changing as they typically do with these tropical systems. The outlook now for watches and warnings currently. We've got active tropical storm watches up for the Orlando metro. That includes Seminole County over to Lake County, down to Osceola and into Polk. Brevard not involved or Volusia just yet. That might be changing. We also now continue with a hurricane watch for the Tampa area at this time. Points south are now in a tropical storm watch as well, and as Amy mentioned, down in the lower Keys near Key West, an active warning at this time. Want to do a little compare and contrast. The latest global modeling showing us the impact we could see again from these as they move across. You, of course, can certainly see the GFS or American forecast model lighting up here, and that's certainly going to be on the minds of many as we take you on through the forecast cycle over about the next 24 hours. We're going to start to see this slowly lifting off to the north, and of course, we are going to continue to monitor that trend for you. Amy, it appears my computer has now decided to get stuck and jam on up, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to you, and we'll begin to resolve the issues. But I take that back. Come on back to me, guys. Just let the computer finally caught up. We got the Euro and the GFS we're currently watching at this time. You can see that cycling now northbound right across the Florida state line with Georgia, with some heavy tropical rains on the way. Now, the European model was of concern earlier today as it shows a very close call to Tampa. Current modeling, though, showing this coming on up right on through the Big Bend area and right on into the Florida Panhandle longer term as we wrap up this week and head toward next weekend with a huge area of dry air streamlining in right behind that. Now let's compare that with the exclusive Fox model here. So exclusive to us here in the Fox 35 Storm Center. Watching this right on up over the west side of the state. You can see how that draws a little closer to Tampa. So now a little bit more in alignment with our major global models, and then that moves into the Big Bend area around Dixie, maybe Levy County, and then continues moving up in toward the Panhandle. Now, as we talk about the forecast wind gusts, those are interesting right now with our current Fox modeling. It does show us freshening winds. You can see around 121 miles per hour as it clears through Cuba and then rides headstrong into the eastern Gulf. Winds at 120 there. Look how close that is, streamlining right along the west side of the state. We'll continue riding northbound with those impactful winds going all the way inland into Orlando metro. Tropical storm force not out of the question, certainly a lot heavier as you make a move out toward the west now, out to the Gulf of Mexico, and then siding right on up into the Panhandle longer term. For more on local wind impacts, I want to send it over to Allison Gargaro now live with me. Allie, good afternoon. What do you got on your plate here? Good
afternoon, Jamie. Well, I just want to let you know the Fox model, which is exclusive to us here at Fox 35, is doing a great job at showing all of those winds actually making their way into our viewing area. So when we see that center of circulation, we're actually going to be seeing some of the gustiest winds along our west coast. That's going to be up through north central Florida, but they are still extending across Lake County into Orange as well as our immediate east coast. So this is going to be Thursday at lunchtime, seeing a big gust up in those winds. But I do want to take you down south. This is starting now, continuing as Ian does make its way up toward the Florida Peninsula. Take a look at these gusts just skyrocket anywhere from 35 up to 58 miles per hour. That will be in St. Petersburg by Wednesday at around lunchtime. But I do want to take you up a little bit closer to the Tampa metro as well as in the Big Bend region. This is an area that we will be watching very closely. Again, portions of our viewing area. Tuesday morning into the afternoon, you can see those gusts picking up anywhere from 35 up to 60. We even see some gusts reaching 71 miles per hour. Cedar Key, this is at noon on Wednesday. So this is why we are going to be seeing some of those watches and warnings really rise into our viewing area over the next several hours. But I do want to take you in county by county, Marion County, timing of some impacts locally Wednesday evening throughout the day on Friday, because you're in the more northern portion of our viewing area. Wind gusts, like we saw, 45 to 55 miles per hour with the potential for isolated tornadoes, rainfall anywhere from 8 to 12 inches. Let's take take you up to Gilchrist County, Bell, and Trenton. The timing very similar to what we saw in Marion County. Those gusts potentially up to 65 miles per hour, and rainfall, because it would be potentially closer to that center, upwards of 12 to 15 inches. And as for Lake County, we're going to be looking at the threat for those isolated tornadoes and anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of that rainfall. But Jamie, we do want to send things back over to you to see exactly what we could be seeing over the next several days. Well,
Allison, I tell you, it's just a laundry list of threats right now. We were sharing this with you this morning, and you cannot turn a blind eye to the heavy rain. Of course, the potential for damaging winds. The great job Allison just did highlighting how impactful these winds are going to be from coast to coast. It's just not a Gulf thing, a West Coast thing of our state. This expands all the way out to the eastern counties, of course, the inland, the gut of the state as well, bearing some pretty good brunt of these strong winds. The tornadic risk also will be on the rise. Much of this will be moving in as we head toward late tomorrow, Tuesday night, through the day Wednesday into Thursday. After that, later in the day Thursday into Friday, things begin to simmer on down, provided that Ian is getting ready to move out of our area and into southern Georgia during that time.